So I'm pretty out of practice at shredding these days. It's not something I do very often, but I've been trying to dive back into it a little bit and try and bring some of it back into my playing. As the old saying goes, if you don't use it, you lose it. So getting back into that shreddy mindset, I'm trying to think back to certain licks and phrases that I learned back in the day that helped me get into that kind of style of playing. And I've got a pretty interesting one that I thought would be great to show you guys today. And this one's interesting because it gets people out of staying in the same place. This lick or this phrase, whatever you want to call it, is designed for movement. Let me explain. So as always, I like to start my videos by saying you're probably familiar with this shape. The minor pentatonic. If you've started to play lead guitar, you might have learned that shape and thought, okay, I've started now, but that can be a bit of a trap. It keeps people in one place. So what I've got today is a phrase or a lick that's going to literally take you from the bottom of the fretboard to the top, all on one string. So it's designed for movement. And it also can be played in reverse, so you can start at the top and move downwards in exactly the same way, just retrace the steps. Let me show you the phrase. It's this kind of thing. It's that kind of idea there, so it literally is a run up or it's a run down, and there's so many different ways you can play it when you actually kind of know the pattern, and it's the pattern that I want to stress today. So let's kind of look at that, and for this I'm in the key of A, and the first note is always the root note, so if you want to change the key, just play this phrase, this run, always starting on whatever key you're playing in this case A. So I'm starting on an A note, which is the 2nd fret of the G string. So let's look at the first thing. You might have noticed I kind of played these in groups of 3 notes. That's the best way to think about it. So the first group of 3 notes, I'm going 2, 4, 5 on the G. And I want you to pay attention to what fingers I'm using to sort of get the pattern right. So I'm going 1st finger, 3rd finger, 4th finger, I'm going 2, 4, 5. And then I'm going to move up to the next bunch of 3, and this time round I'm going to go from that 4, 5, but I'm then going to add the 7. So I originally had 2, 4, 5, now I'm starting on the 4, 5 of the last shape, but obviously now I'm going to move up one as well, so I'm going to go 4, 5, 7. And I'm going 1st finger, 2nd finger, 4th finger. And then the next shape is I'm going to go from 5, 7, 9. So I'm using the 5, 7 from the previous shape, but I'm just adding the 9. So every time you move up, you're adding 1 note extra. You're playing 2 notes of the previous little 3, and then adding 1 note extra. So 2, 4, 5, then the 4, 5, 7, then the 5, 7, 9. Now the interesting thing here is it basically repeats again in terms of what shape it is, but this time obviously I'm going to start at the 7. I'm going to go 7, 9, 10. And then I'm going to go 9, 10, 12. And then I'm going to go 10, 12, 14. But here's the really important part, is that you would then expect it to repeat again after I've done the second bunch of 3 notes here. So I did this. And when I did this sort of 5, 7, 9 shape, and it's an easy one to sort of visualize because it's got a space in between every note, 5, 7, 9, that's when I repeated that little pattern, but starting at the 7th fret. And the second time round here, I'm not going to go to that first shape again, because that takes us out of key. So what I'm going to do, the second time I play this little sort of shape with the space in between the notes there, I'm going to repeat that one instead. So now I'm going to go 12, 14, 16. And then my next one will be the 14, which is my octave of the A, which basically means I'm back to the beginning of the whole thing. And if I had an infinite string, it would just keep going. So let's recap that whole thing. I'm going to go 2, 4, 5, 4, 5, 7, 5, 7, 9, 7, 9, 10, 9, 10, 12, 10, 12, 14, and then 12, 14, 16. And now back to 14 up here for 14, 16, 17, which is my octave. And that whole shape takes you literally from the bottom of the fretboard to the top, and you can reverse it like I said. So the main takeaway is that it's just 3 shapes that you play here, and then you just repeat them again, but the second time round you repeat the last one twice before you then start the whole thing again. I know it sounds confusing, but when you actually try it, I think you'll kind of get used to it. And that, like I said, can be started from any root note. We're in the key of A, so I'm starting on this A note on the G string, but I could also start on this A note on the high E. Start the pattern there. And reverse it. And yeah, and the whole, like I said, the whole point is the movement. It's taking me either up or down the fretboard. It's stopping me staying in one place the whole time. And this is a very Yngwie kind of thing. If you've listened to Yngwie Malmsteen's playing, it's kind of inspired by that. It was listening to him and kind of learning some of his phrases where I kind of like learned this little idea. I don't know whether I kind of learned it from a tab or whether I kind of figured it out just kind of following the scale, because that's all I'm doing. I'm just following the scale up or down. So a few ways I can make that interesting. I could double up on each pattern before I move up. And then try and speed that up. Then I could just do that descending run like I was doing earlier. And then you can try and speed that up. That kind of thing. And that's basically it. It's just a cool lick or a phrase which really helps you move around the fretboard rather than staying in one place, and it kind of steps you closer to that shreddy sort of realm. You don't even have to play it fast, but you can do it. It sounds cool. Experiment at different speeds. And as I mentioned, if you want to play it in a different key, just start that sequence from a different root note. If you're playing in B, start on a B. 2 frets higher or wherever it is, on different strings, all that kind of thing. It doesn't matter where you play it. It's always the same. Ascending or descending, just that same pattern. Anyway, I hope that made sense and I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, leave me a comment, let me know what you think. Also guys, I do teach online guitar lessons. If anyone's interested and thinks that I could help them with their guitar playing, send me an email, it's in the top of the description. But if you did enjoy the video, then please leave it a like, leave me a comment as I said, and if you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, please do. I make lots of guitar and music related content, and hopefully I'll see you next time. So take care.